introduction to it, what is Node-red and all, and we are also going to tell you how to integrate your services with Node-red. All right. Sure, I will be louder. Is it fine now, or do you get any some kind of disturbance? Valli Sri Sishta. Fine, yeah, fine. Okay, so if you are not using earphones, I suggest you to use earphones so that you can actually increase the volume and hear me louder. All right, let us start with discussing today's agenda. You'll also understand what we're going to talk about in today. All right, so let us see what's going to happen today. All right, I guess everyone can see my screen, right? Okay, so today's agenda is this one. So we are going to talk about, we'll start discussing on what if you do not have an IBM ID yet? Okay, that's the most important question we are getting all the time. You do not have an IBM ID and you do not know what to do if you want to proceed further, or you have to wait for IBM ID and all, right? So we will discuss about that first, and then we'll talk about Node-red introduction. We'll also discuss a little about how to create a Node-red service, and then we'll discuss how to integrate Node-red with Assistant. This is for AI people. We have AI people and ML batch here in the same webinar. All right. So, and the next steps are how to create a notebook in Watson Assistant. I guess so many of you already have done this and you're all familiar with it, but let us talk about it. We'll also talk about most important thing, importing the data set, because few of you had a problem importing the data set. And we'll talk about endpoint creation and what it is. And then we'll talk about integrating Node-red with ML model. And finally, we'll also have a Q&A session so that if you have any questions, you can ask us. All right. So the first and most important thing is, what if you do not have an IBM ID, right? Yes, everyone are in the meeting, Soumya. So yeah, the thing is, if you do not have an IBM ID, what you are going to do is, you will create a personal account in the cloud. By personal account, I mean you are going to create a IBM cloud account with your personal email ID. All right. So how are you going to do that? You can just use cloud.ibm.com for that. In cloud.ibm.com, you can register, create an account here and start building upon these things. Okay. Yeah, there are few things you may not be able to use all the services if you do not have an I suppose if you have an institutional email ID, but the thing is, you will be fine. All right. Yeah, my screen is not visible because I've turned it off. I'll start sharing my screen again in a couple of minutes. So the thing is, if you do not have an IBM ID, the thing is, you're going to use cloud.ibm.com for that. Okay. You're going to register an account from cloud.ibm.com. All right. So let us go ahead with Node-red introduction and what it is. All right. So let me log into my account first. All right. Here I am in my account. So few of these steps may make sense to you, or it may not make sense to you, but just follow me blindly for some time so that you'll understand what's going on. All right. We're going to discuss about it again, but I just want you to be familiar with what's going on. Okay. So yeah, so this is your Node-red. So Node-red is a flow editor which lets you test your machine learning services, IoT services, or AI services very easily, and you can also build a web interface very easily with it. All right. So just for me to build a website, I don't even have to use so many things. I can just drag and drop a few things here maybe, and you know say a little about it. It may not make sense to you yet, so just blindly follow what's going on. I will tell you what this is all about, and you'll understand why we are emphasizing on Node-red. Okay, so I'm just going to deploy it. You see, I've created a page, and this page is accessible by everyone who is watching it, even with your phones or anything. So as simple as dragging and dropping a node, I'm able to create a web page here. All right. So you do not have to code a lot when you are using Node-RED. You do not have to know about REST APIs and all. You can just use this service, and this works all the time. All right. So this is how the reason why we are emphasizing on Node-RED is this one. All right. So let me get my um, chart and see what's going on. Yes, the webinar is being recorded, and we'll give you after a while. Well, without using cloud, just by normal coding in Python file. Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about it. Okay. So Kunal Agarwal is asking me, can we make an ML model without using cloud, just by normal coding in Python file? Yes, you can do that. But the thing is, you have to deploy it, right? So for that, the next part of the session will be taken by Charan, and he will be explaining you how to use your notebook to you've created a Python file locally, right? He is going to explain you how to use that Python file and uh, you know embed into the cloud services. So yeah, okay, let's get back to this. So we've covered this first part. If you do not have an IBM ID, you can use cloud.ibm.com for now, for some time, until you get an IBM ID. And when you get it, you'll be familiar with it, and you can do it very easily. Next thing is Node-RED introduction. I've told you all about Node-RED introduction. So the thing is, we are going to make a website which will be connecting your ML or AI services. Okay, so you can test your ML and AI services very easily, and we can also build a web interface for it. And then Node-RED creation. So I just want to ask everyone here, and have you all created your Node-RED services, or do you want me to explain it? Yeah, I'm getting it's mixed actually. Few of you are saying you want me to explain, and a few of you are saying it's done. It's you've already created it, right? Okay, Naveen, we will talk about promo codes and all a little bit later during the Q&A session. For now, just let me know if you have created it or not. Yeah, okay, I'm going to explain it anyway. To Vrushali Patil, we will discuss about that during the Q&A session. Okay, fine. I'm going to proceed with the Node-red creation. All right. So it's a very simple task for you. So when you log into your IBM cloud, you will be, given this one, right? You have this dashboard. You can see this. Can you see me actually? Did I start sharing the screen or not? I did not. I'm sorry. Yeah. Now you can see it, right? So yeah. Uh, See, when you log into your cloud.ibm.com or IBM Academic Initiative account, you will be greeted with this dashboard, right? So this is your dashboard that tells all of the resources you have, all of the services you have, and everything. So the first point is we want to create a Node-red service here. Actually, Node-red is an application, so we're going to click on this button over here, create resource, and we will talk we will talk about your issues a little later, but let's understand what's going on here. Okay, so when you click on create a resource, you will see this catalog page here. You can just search for Node-red, and this one will appear, right? Click on it, and you'll click on get started. It's a fairly very simple, straightforward process. If you have a light plan account, you cannot create two or more than one service actually. So since I've already created one service, I cannot create another one. So you'll give all the details here, and you can select any region here. It doesn't matter. You can select Chennai or you can select London. It doesn't matter. But I suggest you to select London. It is not a necessary thing, because it will help us if you get some kind of error somewhere. We will be able to solve it up. Okay, and then if you are creating for the first time, you'll see this create button here. All right, so you can click on it, and after some time, you know um, when you click on it, and you will be asked to create a new API key and all. It's a very straightforward process. You can blindly go with these blind buttons, the blue color buttons. Wherever you see, you can just click on them. It's a very straightforward process. And after some time, when you've created everything, you will be seeing this page. Not exactly this. You may not have success here. You will have no stages detected here. And I'll come back to your issues a moment later. Yeah, so you'll see under the status tab here, you'll be seeing no stage detected. But after some time, you'll be able to see it comes to success. And if at all you see failure here or failed here, click on this button. If it gets failed, click on that. So just that we will be able to debug it faster. Okay, Suppose your deployment is failed here, you will see stage failed. Click on view logs and history, and you'll see all the logs here. I want you to search, just type Control F and search THROW throw ERR. Okay, since I do not have any error, I cannot see that. But if your deployment is failed, you will be given somewhere around here you'll see throw error, something like that. So just put a screenshot in the Slack channel and we will be able to help you out. Okay, so yeah, so that is how you create a Node-red service. And after you create the service, you will be able to run the URL from here. This is your app URL. You can click it, and you can click on, I'll come back to your issues in a moment. So you can click on go to your Node-red flow editor, and it will ask you, just a simple account creation kind of thing. You'll be prompted to give your username and password. You may or may not use that, but yeah. So this is how you create a Node-red service. All right. So if you want to access it from your dashboard, you'll go to dashboard and click on Cloud Foundry apps. And from Cloud Foundry apps, you'll be seeing your own email here. If you click on it, it's the shortest way to reach this page. Okay, this page. So yeah, so when you click on it, you'll be seeing routes here. You can click on this one. All right, it will take you to the Node-red page. Okay, so let me come back to your problems and all. Should I have to press on deploy your app? Yes, you have to press on deploy your app. If you have to, you must press on deploy your app. Okay, so do you have any issues till now? uh, you know is it clear till now, or did you face any problems here? You might have faced, but will you be able to resolve? Yeah, good. So after deploying an app, if you are facing an issue, I've told you how to show me what's going on and all. Okay, we will talk about how to create new nodes and all. If it is failing, I've told you how to do that. Click on view logs and history, press Ctrl F, type THROW. We will be able to see what's going on. Okay, is it fine, Soumya? Yeah, okay. So that is all about how to create a Node-red. Okay, so yeah, so we've talked about these three things. Now we'll talk about how to integrate Node-red with Assistant. Okay, so for AI people, it is a very straightforward process. It's not going to be a lot of tedious things and all. For ML people, you have to work on a little bit. We will talk about how to integrate Node-red with machine learning as well. For now, let us see how to integrate a Node-red service with uh, Assistant. All right. So once you are in this flow editor, okay, you'll only be seeing one flow here, flow one. So yeah, I'm going to enable it. Okay, so these are the nodes, and these are the links. I'm going to tell you what will happen here. Okay, Node-red is actually all about nodes and connecting these nodes. So you will understand what's happening. Just give me some time. Okay, so this is your inject node and this is your debug node. So when you want to inject some, make sure you deploy your Node-red flow all the time. Okay. So yeah. So whenever you have some doubts, we will be asking you to show your debug page in Node-red. Okay. So your debug page in Node-red is this button that looks like a bug here, right? Beside I symbol, information tab, debug tab, and dashboard tab. Okay. So we want you to click on this bug button and show what's happening. Okay. So this is all nodes. How do I how did I uh, create a connection? I'm going to just drag from this node to this node, and the connection is created. All right. So this is an inject node. What it is going to do is it's going to inject something. So for now, I've asked it to inject timestamp. So I've got time here. I might ask it to inject some kind of string here, maybe hey, and I'll connect it and I'll deploy it, and I get hey, right? So it is all about nodes and connecting these nodes. Okay. So how are we going to connect your assistant with this Node-red is the official agenda for today, right? So I'm going to enable this. So I have my assistant here. All right. I've created a sample skill. I've taken a sample skill called customer care sample skill, and I've posted here. All right. So I want you to concentrate on these things. Okay. So from your dashboard, you will be able to access your assistant from services, right? Open Watson Assistant. After opening Watson Assistant, you will see some credentials here. We are going to use them. You have API key and you have URL. We are going to use both of them. All right. So for that purpose, I'm going to launch Watson Assistant in a new tab. Okay. So we have this. So all of you from AI people, I think you've created your skill, right? Yes, this is for AI. This is for AI. Yes. All of you have created your assistant skill, maybe just an example skill or a sample skill that you wanted to test it out. Yes. I see so many yes here. So I'm going to proceed. Yeah, the screen is not visible because I've stopped screen sharing. All right. So let me get back. So you've created your assistant skill, right? So you have assistants tab. To your left, you have assistants tab and skills tab. Click on skills. So you'll have so many skills. If you have created three or four skills, you'll be seeing three or four skills, but you'll be using only one skill, right? So I will be using this customer sample skill. Okay. These three dots, click on them and click on view API details. So these are all the API details of your skill. But from all of these things, we will be using only skill ID. Okay. From the previous page, we are going to use API key and URL. You know, your API key from here and here will be the same. So it doesn't matter which API key you are going to use. But remember, API key from API key and URL, this is the easiest and easy to remember thing, right? You'll copy the API key from here and URL from here and just the skill ID from here. Okay. So how are you going to use that? Go back to your Node-red and so please remember, I will share this flow with you. and I'll also tell you how to use this flow. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to drag and drop a form field from okay, before that, let me tell you something. You will not have just as I mentioned here, I was able to create a website and some sort of thing here, right? Yeah. So I was able to create a UI here. It said something like this, some default, it said website and all, right? But you may not be able to use these functions because you will not find these dashboard things in your Node-red. Okay, you will not find button, drop down, switch and all. So this will be for both AI and ML. So please understand how to do this. Click on this hamburger menu here, this one, right beside the deploy button. Click on it and go to manage palette. Okay. In the manage palette, you will have to click on install and type dashboard. The second result is what you're going to install. Node-red dashboard is what you're going to install. Okay. If you are trying to install it and you get an error, just ignore that error. Just ignore that error and install again. It will come. It will get installed. All right. So yeah. So you have to click on this hamburger menu again. I'm telling you again just in case. Hamburger menu. Click on manage palette. Go to install. Type dashboard. And the second result, Node-red dashboard. This is what you're going to install. Once you install this, all of these things will be visible to you. Okay, so I'm going to disable this flow. Okay, let me enable this flow. So the first thing you're going to use is, and from now on, I'll be talking about the AI people. All right, you'll drag and drop the form node, and if you want to ask it something like enter your query or something like that, you'll ask it and you'll give some name. This name is the most important thing. So when I share you my flow, you'll understand what's actually I've given. So let me double click on it. So I've given enter text here and I've given the name as input. So remember that even ML people, you will be understanding a lot about these things when I'm talking about how to integrate ML model with Node-red. All right. So name is your variable. Okay. So we will initiate with the type as text here. All right. Done. And you have a function node here. So anything in Node-red is a message object. So in message object, the output comes in the payload. Okay, so message dot payload contains your output or anything. So when you give something in the form, suppose in this form you give. When I ask you to enter text here, some users will enter hi, good morning, something else. So it will come to my function as message dot payload, but I've given the variable name as input, right? So I'll be I'll be able to grab it from message dot payload dot input, and I'm going to initialize it to message dot payload itself. All right. So this is the most important thing. You will not be able, you won't be needing to change any of these function nodes here, either this function node or this function node. The only thing you're going to change is the function node will be here. You can just drag and drop the function node. All right. So yeah, the only thing you're going to change is the assistant node. So you will have assistant, not assistant v2, not assistant workspace manager. this node, assistant node, plain assistant. All right. So when you drag and drop this thing and double click on it, you will see some things here, right? Name, username, password, API key, service endpoint, workspace ID, and all. Okay. You can give name as anything. You can give it as chatbot. You can give it as assistant, whatever. Okay. Let me keep it as chatbot. You do not have to authenticate this with username and password, but you need API key. So for API key, I've told you to copy the API key from this page, right? So this page will come from the resource list. Click on Watson Assistant, and you'll see this page. So copy this API key. Copy this API key and paste it in API key. Okay, straightforward, right? All right. So you see service endpoint here, right? Service endpoint is your URL. Copy it. Let me put it down. Paste it. All right. API key and service endpoint is done. Now we need workspace ID. Workspace ID is your skill ID. Okay. So copy it and paste it. So that's it. Your assistant node is ready. So let me take out these links to the previous assistant node, and let me add nodes to these things. Okay, this is the only thing AI people will be doing. You will be changing these things. Double click on it and change API key, service endpoint, and workspace ID. All right. So click on deploy. So once it is deployed, you can access the UI from two ways. Okay. So copy till .NET, copy the URL till .NET, paste it over here, add /UI. All right. So this is one way of doing it. And the other way of doing it is I've told you to show us the debug page whenever you encounter an error, right? So you can click on the tab beside that. This is your dashboard tab. And from your dashboard tab, you will be able to see this link icon. Okay. Click on it. So you have this one here. I'm going to say something. Hi. It is going to fetch the results from my assistant and show it to me. All right. So maybe I might ask what are the timings and all. So it's going to show me these results. So create a skill, change your assistant node. Okay. So let me stop my screen share, and is it clear? You have where where to get skill ID. Okay. So let me show that again. When you, this is your Watson Assistant home page, right? This is your dashboard. Keep this dashboard because we will be needing API key and URL. The skill will be coming from after you launch the Watson Assistant. To the left, you will be able to see assistants and skills. Click on skills. So you might have one skill, you might have 3 to 4 skills. It's up to you. Click on these 3 dots, view API details, and you'll be able to see the skill ID. Okay. So is it fine? Yeah. Is it clear for everyone till now? Yes. Okay. So yeah. So the next part of the agenda will be all for exclusively for machine learning people, notebook creation, importing dataset, endpoint creation, and integrating Node-red with ML model. AI people might or might not want to, continue the session. So it is up to you now. How to create a chatbot using Watson. Hemant, we've given all the resources. Try to explore the dashboard. post your questions in the Slack channel, one of us will be able to help you out. If someone has already done it, and if you've seen a query in the Slack channel, you can also try to answer those questions. All right. So yeah, we've seen all these things, but now uh, AI people have an option to leave the session or not. It's up to you. We also have a Q&A session. uh, you might or might not prefer to look at the webinar recording, so it's up to you. If you want to stay, you can stay, or if you don't want to stay, if you have some work, you can leave. Okay, ML people, you have to stay. All right, am I clear? Okay. Okay, fine. So the next part is integrating Node-red with Assistant. I'm sorry, notebook creation in Watson Assistant. So yeah, how to integrate Watson Discovery with Assistant. We will talk about that in the Slack channel. All right, Roshan, we will talk about that in Slack channel. Teacher code to create academic initiative. We'll talk about all the academic initiative codes, IBM ID not given, and all in the Q&A session later. So time is running out. I have to hand over this session to Charan now. He will show you how to what document should be used for the SDU. What is SDU? Something about the data set. What will be the input, whether we have to take all the, so yeah, we will be talking about the yeah, so machine learning. So I think AI people have left this session. Few people have left this session, and few people are still here. Okay, the ML session will be handled by Charan. I'll come back after he explains you till service endpoint. I'll come back. So yeah, about the data set, you may or may not. It's up to you. We've actually, modified the data set so as to keep only those that are important columns. So it's up to you. You, if you want to drop it, you may drop it. But see, if your accuracy is increasing, if you drop a column, it's up to you. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to hand over this session to Charan.
So yeah, hello everyone. Everybody is able to hear me, right? Yes or no? Yeah, I'll be starting the session right now. So this will be about, yeah, Prashant, can you allow me to share my screen right now? Okay, yeah. Now we'll be talking about ML, right? So the first thing is, how many of you are familiar with Jupyter Notebook? Is everybody able to hear me right now? Yes, right. So first I'll be showing you the Jupyter Notebook. So everybody can see the Jupyter Notebook, right? Yes, right. So let us take a small data set. Let me show you the data set right now. Uh, yeah, this is the data set that we are taking. So everybody can see the data set, right? So we have 6 columns right now, right? So in this project, so this data is about USA housing, right? So in this data, we are going to predict this column, the price. Got it? Yeah. So yeah, using the other 5 columns, we are going to predict the price. So this is the data that we have. So generally, what are we going to do in this Jupyter notebook is, let me show you. So yeah, this is the code for your regression model, multivariable linear regression in Jupyter Notebook using Python, right? So everybody is familiar with the code. So I'm just going to follow through it. So this is your data set, right? So in Jupyter Notebook, what are you going to do is you're going to use that data to create a machine learning model. So don't worry about the code. I'll be sharing the code with everyone. This code will be posted on your Slack. So yeah, after this, so at the end of the code, so this is your uh, ending prediction. So this graph is about what you have predicted and the original data. So what is the predicted data and original data is? So this will be, so this price will be the original data, right? The last column is the original data. In machine learning model, what we are going to do is we are going to use these 5 columns to predict this price column, right? So what this graph has done is it has taken this column and the predictions. So what is happening here is we are going to predict using those 5 columns and save all those into this predictions. So we are going to plot against y-test. Y-test is nothing but your price column. Everybody is with me, right? Everybody is able to understand? Yes or no? Yes, right? Yeah. So what is this? So observing this graph, you can say that in a way the predictions are accurate, right? At least 70 to 80%, right? So this is your machine learning code in your Jupyter notebook. So these are the metrics. These are the mean squared error, root mean squared error, and all. So right. So this is your Jupyter notebook. So what are we going to do right now is, so let me open Paint. So generally, this is your Watson, right? Let's suppose that this is your Watson assistant. Okay. So this is your Jupyter notebook. So after creating the machine learning model, if anybody wants to access the model, how can you access the model? So if you are going to create a website, you have to store a model somewhere, right? So let us suppose we are using IBM Cloud to store the model. So what we are going to do is there are 2 parts in this. So the first part is the UI. The first part is the UI part, and the second part is the backend. So can anybody guess what is the backend in IBM Cloud for machine learning? What are we going to use for backend? SQL. Okay, so yeah, we are going to use Watson Assistant in the backend, right? So you're going to use Watson Studio and you're going to store that model in the Watson Studio and you're going to connect the UI to the Watson Studio and then you can, this UI is nothing but your web interface, right? Got it? So using the web interface, you're going to access the model and get the predictions, right? So everybody is with me right now? No doubts, right? So yeah, done. So let me open the IBM Cloud right now. So this is your IBM Cloud dashboard, right? So let us go to Watson. So this is your Watson Studio. Got it? 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, this is your Watson Studio. Yeah, this is your Watson Studio. Everybody got it from here, right? So we are going to get started with the Watson Studio. Okay. So you will be seeing this. So what you want to do here is you have to create a notebook for your machine learning to run your code, right? So you're going to do that right now. So you have to select the option new project. Got it? After selecting the new project, I'm creating an empty project right now. So now let us give a project name. So what will be the project name? So let us name the project USA Housing data, right? See, this description is optional. You can write the description or not. That is not a problem. So now I'm creating a project. So yeah, this is your project right now. So this everybody can see the add to project, right? Yes or no? Add to project option. Yes, so you have to click that. So what are you going to add now? Data, connected data, auto I. What are you going to do? I need answers. Notebook, right? Yeah. So I've added a notebook. So you can upload a notebook or write a new notebook here. So, so you want me to upload a notebook or start from the scratch? Upload, right? So from file, scratch is nothing but I'm going to copy and paste the code. There is not much of a difference. So blank is nothing but you're going to get a blank notebook, just like this. 1 minute. See, this is your Jupyter notebook, right? So new Python 3. If you select the blank option, you'll get this. Same in this Watson. So don't worry. So I'm going to upload the notebook right now from file. So I'll download this linear regression file, download as IPM. So now I'm going to drag and drop the file here. Okay. Now I'm going to create a node. Roshan, can we use Picklefy for save model? And yeah, I'll get to you, Roshan. After the session, we'll be having a Q&A. I'll answer that. Don't worry. Now, so this Watson is instantiating our Python file. So yeah, let me take this off. This is not needed. So these are the, so let us run the project here. We'll see what will happen. So the first cell I ran, it is running, yeah, it is fine. Let us see the second cell. So yeah, an error is coming. So what do you think the problem is? So why is there an error in the second cell? Can anybody tell me? Yeah, no data file, right? So what are you going to do here is you are going to upload your data set. So 1 minute. Yeah. So for uploading your data set, you have to select this. You can see, right? 0100. You have to press that and you can drag and drop your CSV file here. So let me drag and drop my file. Yeah, the last column of the data set we can use. That is not a problem. The thing is you have to convert those, the last column of the data set is string, right? So to work with that column, you have to convert that column into numbers. And the other thing is, if you, I'll show you. So this is a graph So this is a heat map. Generally, you're going to using that data set, you're going to create a heat map. So using this heat map, you can tell which column is more useful. The address. So let us assume that in a country like in this area, let us take an area Hyderabad, right? So address is not important for the price of the house, right? So for that reason, I took the that column. Yeah, for that reason, I took the column away. So you can use your heat maps, and you can use your heat maps to tell which column is more useful for prediction and all. Yeah. For now, we'll go to our IBM Cloud. So yeah, what are we going to do is we are going to drag and drop a CSV file here. Yeah, you got the CSV file, right? So everybody can see this. Yes. Now what are we going to do is we are going to insert to code as what? Pandas data frame or credentials? What do you think we have to insert it as? Yeah. So the CSV file will be converted into data frame, right? So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert it as data frame. So yeah, this was the code that was added. So got it right? So if you select insert to code and then pandas data frame, this code will be automatically added. So let me run this cell. Okay, let me run it again. So yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. So you can see the data, right? So what we are going to do here is, so I'm going to replace this DF data with USA housing. Got it? Yeah. So let me open the project. So I've already done the project. 1 minute. So if you are already done with the project, generally, so let us assume that this project is done and we've got the model. So if you want to access the project again, you can go to this Watson Studio, get started. And your project will be saved here. So let us go to USA housing prices. And you can find your notebook and assets. So I'm opening the Python file right now. So yeah, this is your file. So this is your data set. So yeah, so the only problem you'll be facing after running your notebook in the Watson file is your data frame. So I've shown you how to insert your data frame, right? So after that, everything will be the same, and you can get the prediction model graph. So what is the problem now? So I've got my problem. So I've got my model right now. So can I move directly to UI? Node-red? No. Why no? I have to deploy it. So this one is already in the cloud. So the model is already saved. So the thing is, your Watson is, your model is saved here in Watson. This is the backend, right? And what is the front end? Web UI is your Node-red. So let me ask you a question. If you want to go to YouTube website, what are you going to do in your browser? You're going to type the URL of the website, right? So for our web UI, the front end, to use the back end, you'll be needing some kind of URL, right? Some kind of connection. Some kind of connection so that the model and your UI can must be able to communicate, right? So for that, you have to create a scoring endpoint that will be having the URL. Everybody understood, right? So why we are going to use a scoring endpoint? Yes. So how to get that scoring endpoint? So this is the code to get the scoring endpoint. So first you will be writing this code. So don't worry about the code. I'll be sharing the code with you. So just see this. So first I'm going to install the client. After that, I'm going to install Watson. We are going to use this library from the client. And after that, so we'll be adding this WML credentials, right? So to add this credentials, you can see this, right? API key, instance ID, and password. So you have to replace your these API keys for your Watson Studio API keys. How to access these keys? I'll show you right now. So go to your Watson dashboard. Everybody understood till here, right? Yes or no? Yes. So go to your dashboard, go directly to your services, and here go to your machine learning option. Got it? So after going to your machine learning option, so there is an option called service credentials, right? You're going to click on that, and I've created two credentials. For now, we will be using the service credentials one. So what you have to do is you have to copy this whole thing and let me add a cell here. Yeah, after creating your notebook, you'll be having your service credentials, or you can create them. So now, see, you also have the option to create new service credential. You can just click your, if you cannot see any service credentials here, you can just directly click on the new credential and you'll be having the service credential. Got it? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So after, so you'll be copying this whole thing, right? So after copying it, you just, one minute. So yeah, here, just to show you, I'm adding a cell here. Insert cell below, right? So instead of this one, you have to paste these credentials and you have to delete some lines here. You can see this I am API key and everything that starts with I am, you have to delete that, including the instance ID. And yes, no, instant ID is not needed. You have to delete everything that starts with I am. Got it? So after that, you'll be having this, which is same as this. You only have to delete the things that start with I am. Yeah. So after deleting that, you can just copy this whole thing and paste it here. Let me show you. Just copy this and paste it here. Right? Everybody understood till here? Yes, good. Now after this, you have to write this. So you're going to create a machine learning API client. For that, actually these are optional. Uh, you can write this or not, no problem. So you can write a name, your email ID, and the model meta names. Okay. So after this, you'll be just copy and paste this code and run. And so this line is not needed. Yeah, we are recording this right now. We'll share the recording after this. So yeah. So after copy and pasting, you have to run this code, and after that, you have to directly run this deployment code. So after that, you can get your scoring endpoint. Got it? So we'll be sharing this code. You just have to copy and paste it, and you'll get the scoring endpoint. So this the scoring endpoint is a URL, right? So what is happening right now? You'll be create. So the backend is over. You have created your model. See what is in the background. See this cloud will be having this Watson API client, right? So in this Watson, you are going to save your machine learning model. So for you to create a website, that website should be able to access this model, right? So for that, you are going to create this scoring endpoint. Everybody understood till now? Yes or no? Yes or no? You have. Okay, good. So yeah, the backend is over. Now we have to create a front end for it, right? So what are you going to use for front end for this? Node-red, right? So for Node-red, now Prashant will explain you about Node-red. 1 minute. So any doubts regarding the scoring endpoint, you can ask me in Slack, and we'll be sharing this code and the recording by tomorrow. You'll be getting your Node-red flows, and your scoring endpoint code. Don't worry. Now let me end the screen. Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, you've understood what to do after you build the model, right? So you're just going to create a connection so that you can access your model. Is that fine, right? Just give me quick answers, yes or no, so that I can see that you're all listening. Yeah, good. So I'll continue with how to create a Node-red for you guys. Okay, it's not going to be a straightforward process, but yes, it will be very easy if you follow it. Okay, um, let me share my screen. So I'm going to take over from where we just left off. Okay, we've created service endpoint, we've created everything. Now we just want to create a Node-red service. All right. So for that, we will be going to Cloud Foundry apps, and I've shown you how to create a Node-red, right? So after going to Cloud Foundry apps, we will just click on this one. I've shown you this is the easiest way to go to your Node-red, right? You'll go to your Node-red flow. If you have given a username and password, it will prompt it here. Okay, so this is a little more, a little, somewhat a little, a bigger type of flow than the AI one, right? So yeah, it's fine. I'll tell you what's going on here. Okay, see, your aim is to make the user access your deployed machine learning model, right? You have deployed your model. You've also created a service endpoint, just like a link. So consider it like a link so that you can connect from one service to another service. All right. So something like that. You've created a link as well, right? So what we're going to do, we are going to start with the UI part. Okay. So this is my UI part here. The form is my UI part. Let me deploy and show it to you. So when I deploy it, do you have any questions till now? Okay, fine. We don't have any questions. Good. So I'm just going to show you my UI here. So this is how the UI looks like. We will be giving some average area income, and we will be giving some housing. Sorry, the column name is not copied correctly here. It's fine. I'll correct it and share it with you. We will be giving some number of rooms, maybe 5. Yeah, number of bedrooms and area population here. All right. So after clicking on submit, we will be able to see some prediction, the price prediction here, right? You will be able to see your life expectancy prediction. So we only have a 1 2 3 4 5 inputs here, but you will be giving so many other inputs because you will be using so many, you have so many other columns, right? So how to do that? Drag and drop a form node here. So I'll be sharing this flow with you. You can just edit this. So double click on this form node, and right now you will not see anything. You will not see home default and all. You will be seeing add new UI group. So actually I forgot to mention this to the AI people. So if someone posts this question in their Slack and they are unable to access it, and if someone says that they cannot see anything in the UI, so just guide them. All right. So you'll double click on this and click, you'll see this. Okay, add new UI group. You will edit this, and here also you will see add new UI tab. You will edit this again, and that's it, add. Okay, so it's, what it is actually doing is it is going to group all of your items into one place. Okay, all of your items into one place. So this is one group. If I have another group, I'll be able to see some other group here. I have home group here. I'll be able to see some other group here, somewhere here maybe. Okay, so that is what it's going on here. So we've already created this flow to have 1 2 3 4 5 labels. You can add an element here. It's up to you. You can name it something based upon your column names. And name is your variable name, right? I've told you name is your variable name, and you have to provide variable names correctly so that we are going to access them later as well. So just I'm going to delete this one. All right. So I've created a form, right? So that is done. Now what I have to do is I need to obtain a token. Okay. So I'm going to call this function as, let me call this function as pre-token maybe. Okay. I have to obtain a token so that I can proceed with accessing the machine learning services. Okay. So for token, so just forget these things are here. Okay. Just forget them. I'll explain it in a while. So what we need is, we need an API key. API key is found in your, just go to services, machine learning, service credentials, and this is your API key. Okay. You're just going to copy this and paste it in here. Okay. So if you have API key, and we need some headers, only if we let them know that this is this kind of, we are requesting the service endpoint with this header, it will accept, otherwise it will not accept. Few people might know what message headers are, few people may not know. It's fine, it's actually fine. Okay. And we're going to send we are going to change the message dot payload to this thing. Okay. So we're actually going to send the API key to some place. Okay. So that we can get token. Okay. So I've told you, I'll talk about these things, right? I'm going to make these variables here, A, B, C, D, and E. I'm going to make these variables as global variables so that I can access them later. So yes, I can use them as message.payload.a or message.payload.b as just like that. But the thing is, I'm going to change message.payload object. So that is the reason why I'm setting them as global variables. So I can just refer to them as A, B, C, D, and E. All right. Okay. So I've told you we have to obtain a token, right? So to obtain a token, we need to send these details, the message header and the API key, to some URL, right? So for that, I have to take a HTTP request node. You can just search here, HTTP, you can just drag and drop. Anyway, we are going to share this flow with you. So yeah, this is your URL and it will not change for anyone. Okay. iam.cloud.ibm.com/identity/token. All right. And you are going to send this in a post method. Make sure, just scroll down and let me put it over there, and make sure you return everything as a parsed JSON object. It's not an UTF-8 string. It's not a binary buffer. It's a parsed JSON object. All right. Okay. Now we've gained access to the machine learning service, not to your model. Okay. We've not gained access to your model yet. We've just gained access to machine learning service. Am I clear till now? We will be sharing this recording so that you can listen to it again. Yes. So I'm proceeding. All right. Okay. So we've gained access to machine learning service, not to your model yet. So we have to gain access to your model. Okay. So I told you we will be obtaining some token, right? That will be stored in access token. So we are going to take the token and use it later. I'll tell you where we will be using it. So we will have some, we also have to use some instance ID. Instance ID is also available in your service credentials. Do you see this instance ID here? Just copy paste it here. All right. Just copy paste it here in your instance ID. And to access the token, we needed some kind of headers. And to access your machine learning model, we need some other kind of headers. All right. And we will also be needing to convert the token into a bearer authentication. It's called, whenever you gain an access from token, it's called bearer authentication. If you use username and password, it's called basic authentication. If it is not making sense to you, it's fine. All right. So we will also be giving machine learning instance ID. So these are your headers. And we've made these A, B, C, D, E. These are the user given values, right? I'll come back to your discussion in a minute. So we've given these variables, right? We're going to access them. and we're going to access them as A, B, C, D, E, and we're going to get them. If you are a very familiar user of JavaScript and you also know Node.js, you may consider using const instead of var. Okay. If not, use this as it is. So, so we have all the variables. We have all the data collected from the user. So like 87877567875 and all of these things. We also have headers, instance ID, and token. So now we are able to access the machine learning model. Okay. So to access the machine learning model, we have to give the field names. Okay. In the fields column, you have to give all the names, all the column names. So we only had 5 in this example, so we've given those 5. You have to copy and paste the correct column names. If you do not copy, sorry, if you do not paste the correct column names, you will get an error here. So just make sure that you copy paste the column names as it is. And these are your fields and these are your values. Okay, so you're going to give these values. Okay. So you will have some more variables, maybe let's say F, G, H, or you've created variables like alcohol intake, mortality, GDP, and all. Okay, it's up to you. But make sure you give the variables correctly. Okay, so let me get back to you and see if yes, it is kind of a dictionary. How to? You don't have to make any of these headers. Um, yes, this code is written priorly. Yes. But in our dataset life expectancy, a row contain collected data, but after creating the model, after creating a website, what input a new user will give? From where a normal user will get a country's GDP, alcohol rate, infant death, etc. Okay, this is a question. We will discuss this question. Itishri Behra. We will discuss this question in a minute. Okay, not in a minute. We will discuss this session just a little after this session. Okay. You will give the values. Coming back, you will give the values, and you write return message, and you need another HTTP request. And now tell me, this HTTP request is for what? In the earlier HTTP request, we've gained access to machine learning service. So with this HTTP request, we'll gain access to, yes, model. Exactly. So we will gain access to model. So for that, we need a post method again. If you don't know get and post methods, you can just look it up. We will be using post method again. And after creating your service endpoint, after printing your service endpoint, you will get a URL like this. Okay, so this is what you are going to paste. So I don't think it'll take some time to go there and all. So you understood the point, right? After creating the service endpoint, Charan has just shown you how to do that and all. After creating the service endpoint, you will get a URL. Okay, we will be sharing that code with you. So copy paste that code. So that is the this is the URL that makes the connection to the model. Okay, so now you've got your model and all. So what you have to do is you just have to see where you are getting the results from. Okay, so I connected a debug node and saw that the results are coming from this one, message.payload.values 00. This is where my results are coming from. You can experiment it. You just connect a debug node to your HTTP request. Do not connect this function node yet. Just connect this message.payload. Uh, give all your values. Give all your values. Come back to debug shell, and you will be able to see where you are getting all these things. Okay, you have two things, fields and values. In values, I have 0 and 0, and this is where I'm getting the result from, right? So I've created a function, and I've just copy pasted these things. Message, this is the object, right? Message.payload. And in message.payload, we have values. And in values, we have in 0, 0th position, we have the result. So I've copy pasted it. If it is not working for you, just test it out. Okay. And I've created a text box from the URL dashboard. So it's a just a text box. So it will have nothing but message.payload. If your value format is message.payload, it will answer it properly, because I've changed message.payload to message.payload.values of 0, 0, right? Or if you prefer to do without a function node, you can do it. I'm just going to delete the connection to the function node, and I'm just going to link it to here. I'm sorry. Or write message.payload.values 0, 0. All right. So even this will give you the same results. So write something, and you don't see the prediction here. Yeah, we're supposed to see a prediction here. I think it's anyway, fine. So for now, I'm going to connect it back. You will get the result directly from there as well. Just make sure you're doing it properly. Okay. So when I connect it back, it has to work. Let me refresh it. Yeah, we will make sure that it gets connected and all. You will be able to see the prediction here. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We have two home nodes, two home tabs here. That's the reason why we are not able to see that. I'll correct the code, and I'll give it to you. Okay. I guess this is the one we have to use. Okay. So anyway, so let's get back to your comments and all. So let us see what's actually going on. Yeah, we will be able to see these things. Okay. Now we will be able to see all the things perfectly. Yeah. So let me come back to you, and so let me tell prediction to function. No, yeah, yeah, I've corrected it. So no, this session will end in a few minutes, maybe in 5 to 10 minutes. It all depends upon your questions and all. Yeah. So do we have any questions? So let me scroll back and see if we have any questions. The URL for ML is same for all the URL for model should be the ending. You have to, yeah, the URL, you see, I did not understand your question perfectly, but let me tell you something. We have two HTTP requests. One is for token generation, and this is same for everyone. Everyone will copy paste the same thing. I will give you this flow, and you do not even have to change this node. Okay. And this HTTP request will be the URL. This URL is your scoring endpoint. When you create a model in your machine learning service, you will create a scoring endpoint, right? That is the scoring endpoint. You have to paste it here, and this will be unique for every single person. All right. So what document is to be used for this mod? So you can use any other document. I'll ask Lalita to share you some documents with you, some sample documents, so that you can use them. All right. So the session has ended. If you have any questions, we'll quickly wrap it up. Can you share? Yes, we will share the scoring endpoint code with everyone. We'll post them in the Slack channel. Do we have any more questions? Yes. The promo code error. Yes. Can you just ping me in the Slack so that I'll get it work with my organization and see what has to be done. Okay. AI Slack channel and ML Slack channel are different, but we are in both these channels. Row content. Yeah. Yeah. Itishri Behra, we thought of coming back to your question, right? So the thing is, we do not expect a person to have all the knowledge about GDP, alcohol rate, infant death, and all. Rather, we want you to look at the data, the historical data, and make some insightful predictions. Suppose, consider you are a person who has a lot of data. You have the historical data of life expectancy rates of various countries, of all the countries, let us say, that are directly reporting to WHO. Okay, if you have that kind of data, you have to make some insights, and it is your responsibility to understand what is going to happen if one of the variable is increasing or decreasing. Let us say some alcohol intake is increasing by a 10%. So what is your insight on it? How are you going to make a meaningful prediction of it? That is what we actually want you to understand here. So yes, normal users will not have any idea, but they can actually look it up on the internet, or maybe 2021 is coming, 2020 has come, we have all the data right now. Maybe we will be able to expect the life expectancy rate. We will be able to predict the life expectancy rate. Okay, so am I making sense? Feature code step is not compulsory, but you will get some benefits if you use that. Okay, so is that it? Do we have any? Yeah, are we going to get the data set for fraud detection and insurance claims, which is build the first time? It was only given for you to understand how to do that. For that, you can use Kaggle. Kaggle.com is your go-to place to collect all your data sets. All right. But when I open IBM solution services or don't, what should I do? Maybe did you try to clear your cache and all? Just try to clear your history, browser history, and try to access it, or try to log in from an incognito window. Vaibhav Chowdhury, the thing is, we have to collect all of your details, we have to review them, and we have to send all of your we have to create an email for you, and we have to send that email to IBM so that they will validate it, and we have to get that back. And from our side, we have done everything. IBM validation is pending and all. Okay, so do we have any more questions? How do we submit our project? You have to submit your project to Git. That's it. If you have any more questions, post them in Slack channel. I have to tell you this, we may not be available all the time, but we will get back to you at every possible moment. All right. So we'll stop the recording till